Alright, let's start. Okay, hello and welcome back to the Grandmasters League. We're moving into round 6 now, and it's getting very close to the end of the tournament. It was actually scheduled that the Viper versus Doubt would be casted first, but Doubt hasn't actually posted his point of view yet, and I'm not allowed to post the games until both point of views have been posted. So I'm going to start by covering FeAge and Chris, which is supposed to be the second game of the week, but it's actually now the first game of the week, but it doesn't really matter because they're going to be posted in that order anyway, so it's all okay. And this is game number 1 between FeAge and Chris, and in teal off to the right of the map we do have FeAge himself playing as Mongols, and his opponent, I am Chris, playing in green as Mongols as well. It's very rare that we don't see Chris playing as green. I think he has some unparalleled love even for the colour green. I've always wondered why, but he just seems to like that colour. Maybe it's his lucky colour, maybe it's just a colour that he likes. I've got no idea, but he is playing as Mongols in the green over to the left, which is a bit annoying because it's hard to see, but it's not too much of a big deal. And the map is Yucatan, as chosen by FeAge himself, and that is an interesting choice if you ask me. FeAge has chosen to play Yucatan against Chris, even though Chris almost beat the Viper on Yucatan not too long ago. I think it was the 1 round or 2 rounds ago that Viper and Chris met on Yucatan. Viper won the game, but Chris, he held in there. He did a very, very good play indeed. He took water, he controlled a lot of the map, and unfortunately his drush was a bit of a failure, but other than that he played excellently, and he did do a very, very good job against the Viper in that game. So an interesting choice from FeAge that he would choose to play this against Chris, but nevertheless he is going to go for it, and we'll see the result of the game at the end, no doubt, unless it drops, which I'm pretty sure it doesn't, unless again they forgot to tell me that it did. But as far as I could tell, the game hadn't dropped, so we should be a-okay. So yeah, what does Yucatan mean? Well, we've seen Yucatan a little bit before, and it does mean very high resources, 3 boar for a start. It does mean 2 berry patches. It does mean lots of deer and quite an easy wall as well. FeAge here very closed in, a little choke point on the right hand side of his base, and an open front that again isn't too hard to wall if you really wanted to. And that is why these players choose to play as Mongols, because of their increased hunt time or hunt speed, and getting those extra javelina, as I was told, because it's actually Spanish apparently, and it should be pronounced with an A, not a javelina, like an Englishman would. But yeah, so the increased hunt rate, and FeAge, I've got to say, off to a little bit of a sloppy start. You may have noticed already that he had a little bit of trouble at the start with the turkey running out over this way, and causing his villager to have a little bit of problems. Well, he got a little bit of problems with the luring of that boar as well, a little bit messy there, and he's got to be careful not to lose that villager. As far as I can see, he should be absolutely fine. He's trying to mess with Chris over this side, hence why his luring has perhaps been a little bit bad, and that boar is going to run back, and FeAge is going to be kicking himself off to a pretty messy start, to be honest with you. Chris already lured his second boar in, and FeAge is going to have to spend some more time sending a villager over there to try and lure this boar, but Chris pardon me, has his scout there ready to sort of intercept. He might decide to be a pain in the ass and steal. He might decide to harass this villager as she is trying to lure this boar back. FeAge being a little bit given a little bit of his own medicine there. Chris blocking that villager to make the villager of FeAge take more damage. Fortunately, FeAge does have loom, and that's going to help him out a little bit, but Chris just being a pain in the ass with his scout, and FeAge has got to be careful. He could lose this villager here, and that is not a great start for him. But he's going to lose the villager. Oh, wow. That is really not good. And Chris off to a pretty damn good start. He's already lured his second boar in. He's going to go get his third one now. FeAge hasn't even lured his first boar yet. It looks like the boar just... Oh, it's here. It didn't run all the way back. He managed to intercept it. But he's only just getting his first boar. He's lost a villager. Chris being a pain in the ass. and he is doing a pretty damn good job. His scout a little bit low on HP, so FeAge could chase him down, but he's going to want to get some scouting information as well. He knows where his TC is, of course, but not much else. And I was actually wrong. Chris isn't going to go lure his third board just yet. He'll wait a second until these are a bit lower, and then he'll do it. But he is starting to take deer already, as is FeAge down here, and FeAge now with a barracks. And it's not unusual to see drushing on this map, and if that is the case, then Chris is definitely going to be able to get his drush going first, as he did have that extra boar already, and he's still being a nuisance. It looks like Chris is even going to wall this here, so if FeAge does drush, which it looks like he's trying to do, he is going to be in a little bit of a tough spot here, because I mean, he can come around at different angles, but Chris could quite easily wall off still. He could put a wall up here, he could just wall this choke point again, he could just wall this again, but it looks like Chris isn't able to get this wall up at the moment because of the scout here, and his scout is on much lower HP, of course. I don't actually see a barracks from Chris just yet either, so he might not be going for a drush at all. He might be going feudal, which he is already, and maybe go for scouts. It's not unusual to see scouts from Mongols. We've seen this a lot in the past, and FeAge here starting to make some militia right now, and this is a little bit risky because he's going to delay his feudal time massively, and Chris is not going to be doing any drushing at all, which is really, really good for him at the moment. As long as he can keep his villagers safe, he'll be absolutely fine. I mean, FeAge could come in with a few militia and start to do some damage to Chris's villagers, but if they stay safe and if he manages to wall, which it doesn't look like he will for the time being, but if he does manage to wall, then he could be okay, and he might actually be able to repel FeAge in this situation and then get his scouts out once he reaches the feudal age. Chris then off to a pretty damn good start. He's even got the fourth boar. Oh no, that's FeAge. What am I doing? He's already lured his third boar even. A little bit of a funny lure there, a little bit far from the TC, but it's not the end of the world. He can very easily go scouts in this situation. He's got plenty of villagers gathering deer over here, and Chris very well knows about this drush. 2 militia from FeAge, nothing too scary. He can quickly wall this here, and the militia can't get in anytime soon. Gonna wall across here as well, and if FeAge doesn't manage to get in, or if Chris keeps him out for long enough, which he hasn't done, Chris breaking through there, Viper breaking through there, and Chris gonna have to retreat with his villagers. But with all of these villagers here, he could defeat this drush quite easily, as long as none of the villagers get too low on HP. FeAge, of course, gonna try and focus this one down. He's going to try and get revenge for that boar steal. It looks like Chris may just get away. It's going to be very close either way. Fortunately for Chris there, FeAge fighting uphill. Is he going to catch him? It looks like he's going to get that villager right there. Very, very close. 1 HP remaining. He's going to get inside the TC. He's going to be absolutely fine. That was too close. But nice from Chris, repelling FeAge's drush right there. FeAge a little bit wasted, to be honest with you, because not wasted as in, oh, he's really drunk, but wasted as in he's not really done so much with that militia there. And it looks like Chris here going for a fast castle, which is very interesting to me. I wasn't expecting him to do that. I thought maybe he'd go for scouts, but then again, FeAge is walled right here, and that would just delay him a little bit. FeAge has got quite an easy wall, actually, and FeAge looks like he is, yeah, just going up to feudal now. I was going to say it looked like he's still in Dark Age, but no, just clicking up, he's sending 4 villagers over to gold, so he too could be going for a fast castle, but certainly a disrupted economy from the outset of the game. His drush didn't really do anything. I don't think he killed any villagers, and that is going to be a pretty big deal for FeAge here. He's not off to the best of starts at all. One thing I did notice though, this villager and scout over to this side are kind of interesting. I'm not sure what his plan for this is. He might try and catch Chris off guard at the back, but this villager not doing anything right now. He could be walling these resources if he really wanted to. But I don't think Chris is going to expect this to be in the back of his base. So FeAge even could actually come back here and build some military buildings and catch Chris right off guard. He might be waiting for the feudal age so he can make a stable back here and go for some scouts. He might just be going for a fast castle as well and then put some knights into the back of Chris's base. But either way, that could be kind of cool to see from him. Chris, on the other hand, he is already clicked up to castle right now, and he has got such a huge lead compared to FeAge at the moment. who is just up to feudal at the moment right now, and he's going to be a while before he even clicks to castle. Chris, on the other hand, going to be castle already, and there's the stable from FeAge. Is Chris going to see it though? It's so close. Oh, so close. He's got 2 villagers here starting to take some stone. I don't know why he's not taking this stone, but this villager could just see the barracks. It's like 1 tile away, and I don't think Chris is going to see it, and that is going to be very nice for FeAge. But I mean, Chris could very easily just catch him here. Looks like Chris going to go for a castle really quickly, as he's sending a lot of villagers to stone on this side, and if he takes stone from this mine, then he might not see FeAge right here, and FeAge is so on the edge. Of course, he has not seen... Oh, he can see because he's got his scout there. He can actually see this, and bear in mind, Mongol scouts have extra line of sight. So FeAge knows that Chris is right here. Chris does not know about FeAge, and this is going to be interesting because FeAge could actually do some big damage if he comes in from behind. It looks like he is going for scouts, and a couple of scouts over here is going to be so bad for Chris. He's not going to see it coming at all, and his barracks, well, he doesn't even have one, so there is no way on hell that he is going to be able to get any military out in a quick manner. He is going for a town centre though, so FeAge might want to act pretty quickly and be very cautious of that, because the town centre will kill villagers very easily indeed. What is FeAge doing back home? Well, he's a little bit, not all in, but he is very much on the edge here. It doesn't look like he's going to go castle anytime soon. He's gathering a lot of gold and wood, so it's likely that he's going to go for some archers back here, and in come the scouts. If he can delay this town centre and stop it from going up, then he is going to be in a great situation. Chris thinking, hang on a minute, I thought I was fully walled, maybe there's a hole in my wall. He probably is not expecting FeAge to have snuck any villagers in, and FeAge now with +2 on these scouts, as soon as he reaches feudal, will be able to do some damage, taking out a couple of villagers here, perhaps trying to pick off to get another one. He is going to get one more, he might even get another, but quickly inside of the town centre they go, and FeAge is going to be forced away right there. But he does have this stable there, and I think Chris now likely to see this stable. Oh no, he still doesn't see it. It's right there, and he doesn't know about it at all, and that is still kind of weird to me. I think Chris needs to kind of open his eyes a little bit and actually explore back here with a villager and try and work out where these scouts came from. Perhaps he already just assumes that FeAge snuck a villager back, but unless he sees for sure, he can't actually know, and he might actually be open for all he knows, though he has scouted and he should be able to work out that he is fully walled. Kind of interesting, he must realise that FeAge has a sort of forwards that's backwards, but FeAge going to start pumping out some knights here, and FeAge is going to be so long into the castle age that this is a very kind of risky strategy for him. If it pays off, then he could win himself this game. If it doesn't pay off, then he is going to be in the world of trouble. But I actually think that at the moment it's starting to pay off very well for him. He's picking off lots of villagers of Chris, and he's just trying to level the playing field a little bit when it comes to economy at the moment. Chris obviously with a very large advantage when it does come to economy right now. FeAge going to try and pick one of these villagers that is low. This one right here, so low, 8 HP, but FeAge just going to keep his scouts there, keep Chris busy, and even if Chris walls now, it's not going to be the best, because FeAge is going to be coming in with archers in just a moment. He's got a lot of gold in the bank, plenty of villagers gathering gold there, and plenty of wood collectors as well. He is going to be going for archers back here, and if he does manage to get archers out, he might be able to get quite a lot of villagers, even with town centres being scattered around. But the thing is, if Chris is on his toes, he can prevent FeAge from doing much damage at all. So as long as Chris can actually keep his villagers safe, he might be okay. Though I've got to say, it is looking pretty good for FeAge at the moment in the back here, with Chris not seeing any of it. Oh, he has seen this over here now. He knows exactly what's up. He knows exactly where he is. And I'm interested to see what Chris is going to do next. He's not got any military production still, and he's just kind of hanging on for the time being with his town centres, playing it very defensively. FeAge though going to force him away from wood, going to stop him from gathering resources as well as he'd like, and that's going to be a pain in the ass. FeAge obviously now with the score lead, as he does have much more military than Chris does. Still making archers back here. He is going to want to reach castle at some point though, because of course you will want to make full use of crossbowmen if he can, and of course even get some knights out if he can as well. A market going up at the back, he might be looking to buy some food to kind of get up to the castle edge a little bit sooner. He is very low on food right here, and he's got a lot of villagers gathering off berries, which is not the best situation to be in, but of course gathering off berries will not require him to make farms, which will save him some wood in the long run. Let's see if he actually buys some food here. His market going up? Yes, he did. He bought food right there. Try and get himself up to the castle age just a little bit faster. He knows he's going to have to be castle soon, and he's going to stop this villager from walling him in. That's very close, because if Chris does complete a wall off here, FeAge is going to be in a big spot of trouble, as he won't actually be able to get out of here. He might just be able to sneak around this around the stable, but that will mean that either A, he can just get around, which he can fortunately, or he'll have to delete the stable if Chris does actually wall him in properly. His army here, they're looking quite good. A watchtower going up right here as well. Might be able to pressure this a little bit more, get a few more kills on villagers. But FeAge not able to do so much harassment to Chris's economy. He's got scouts sort of hanging around, trying to kill off a few more villagers where he can. But Chris has been in the castle age so much longer than FeAge has. Though FeAge looking actually pretty good with 55 population right now. The blacksmith going up right there, the market as well. He might get fletching before he goes to the castle age. Yes, he will. And that's going to help his archers out massively. Going to be able to do more damage to these villagers, and he's going to hit from further away, which will help him out massively as well. FeAge kind of looking like he's just kind of checking whether Chris is taking gold or not, because if he can prevent him from taking gold, then he might be alright. Chris actually starting to make a barracks right now, and starting to send more villagers to stone, so we could actually see a castle from Chris in his base pretty shortly to defend against FeAge here. But lots of nice early harassment from FeAge, still struggling to make so much of it, and he's struggling to get up to the castle age as well. He will need more farms, of course, he will need more wood, he will need more of everything, and at the moment it looks like he is going to be quite some time before he gets up to castle. Still kind of roaming around with his scouts, seeing if he can prevent any villagers from doing much, and this is nice by FeAge here. He's going to prevent Chris from taking stone, and that's going to stop Chris from A, trushing back, as he, so close, he's got enough stone for a tower, but it's going to stop him from trushing back properly, and it's going to stop him from getting a castle up anytime soon. So still really nice from FeAge, still doing a lot of damage to Chris. Got to be careful with these scouts though, he's going to throw them away if he stays too close to that TC, but he's preventing Chris from gathering, and all the time at home his villagers are trouble free, they are gathering plenty of resources, and he might just be able to close that gap. But bear in mind, Chris at this stage creating 3 villages at a time, or supposedly creating 3 villages at a time, but not. He's actually stopped villager production, which is kind of interesting. A stable going up for him, and he might be going for some knights pretty soon, but he's not taking any gold just yet, and that is quite a big problem, because without gold he can't make knights, and that is just going to be one problem after another for Chris. Looks like most of his villagers are safe for the time being though. FeAge, I keep calling him Viper, I don't know why. I did it in the last game as well. FeAge still continuing his trush here, preventing Chris from gathering any stone whatsoever. And overall, this is quite nice play from FeAge, I've got to say. He's doing a good job of harassing Chris. And if he can get up to the castle age, which he might just be able to do shortly, a lot of farms being seeded now at home, plenty of gold coming in as well, then he can upgrade to crossbowman, and he can start pumping out knights in the back of Chris's base, and of course catch up with more TCs and the like as well. He's also gathering quite a bit of stone right now to get some more towers up if he can, maybe even go for a castle in the back of Chris's base. That could work out very well, but with only 1 villager it might be a bit hard for him to get the castle up. Chris though adding in another stable right now. He's got enough for a couple of knights. It looks like he's used his market here to actually sell some resource, but of course FeAge with +1 attack should be able to just about take out the knights as they come in. But Chris again with a watchtower coming up here, and that's going to help keep his base a little bit more safe for the time being. Chris's knight's pretty low on HP though, but I think Chris could potentially clear up here if he gets another couple of knights out. This one is going to die, but another one coming in, and FeAge without many archers at all, losing a lot of army right there to those knights, and looks like he could even lose these archers here as well, as he is being attacked downhill. And that means Chris is likely to clear things up here. These archers are not going to be able to put up enough damage, and Chris is going to close the gap once again. And it does really look like FeAge is really starting to pile the pressure on at the back, but Chris now responding quite nicely, getting out those knights and securing his base for the time being. He can now take some gold, and he can now consider working a little bit more on his eco. Very low on resources all round, and actually very low on population in comparison to FeAge as well. FeAge now up to the castle age, continuing to make archers back here. We could see crossbow from him very shortly, and crossbows are actually really good against knights if they get the bodkin arrow upgrade and they get defensive upgrades. Chris with +1 on these knights can be able to resist it a little bit more than you would expect, but if FeAge does get those crossbows pretty soon, then he's actually going to be able to kill those knights fairly easily as well. Perhaps replenishing his lumber camp here might be a nice idea. These villagers walking quite far to drop off and get back. But still, FeAge in the back of his base, still with a few archers inside these towers, putting pressure onto this TC. He might even take it down, but I doubt it, to be honest. Another watchtower coming up here as well, looking to pick off some more villagers if he can. More archers being created, of course, and once he gets castle, we will see the crossbowman upgrade from him. And FeAge 2 starting to wall off with stone over here, and that's going to prevent FeAge, Chris even from getting in for a long time. So there's the crossbowman coming up right now. We'll see bodkin arrow from him when he gets a little bit more resources. And FeAge now could do quite a lot of damage if he's plays this well. Siege Workshop going up as well, and that's going to allow him to get out a mangonel or a ram or two, see what he actually goes for. Likely a mangonel, because then he can actually take down this town centre, and I really like this play from FeAge. It's really, really nice, and so far he's actually doing a pretty good job of it. Crossbowman just about to complete right now. He's got +1 defense on these crossbows as well, which does mean that these are quite formidable, and they should be able to take out these knights with little or no trouble whatsoever, especially if he stays close to his watchtower and keeps bringing on those crossbowmen out. Still making scouts as well. He probably, yeah, he's upgrading to light cavalry. I thought he would do that, and that's going to make them even more, even better even at raiding. He does want to stay away from the arrows though, or he might want to get some defensive upgrades for them. So making another town centre back at home as well. He'll probably get a third up soon as well, just to catch up with Chris, and he's surprisingly closing the gap very, very quickly. And it's strange how he actually managed to come back from such a slow castle age and still pile on the pressure so well, constantly harassing Chris's economy, and that has really, really helped him out massively in this game so far. Light cavalry upgrade completed, crossbowmen coming in, and Chris going to lose a lot of villagers on this gold pile here. He's also got the hill advantage. He is going to be able to kill off these knights pretty easily. Light cavalry and crossbowmen in here, going to be taking out these knights in quick succession, as well as the siege workshop down here, going to be getting out a mangonel. It's already out actually, and that was a siege workshop from Chris that I heard go up, but the mangonel now is in play for FeAge. He's going to be taking out this TC, and if he takes that TC down, it's going to be 2 TCs for Chris versus the 3 TCs of FeAge, and FeAge is going to bring it really, really to the line. And I think actually FeAge, if he does take this TC out, it would be in a really great shout of actually winning this game. His crossbowmen are still standing over here. He's still doing big damage to these knights, and as far as I can see, Chris is out of knights. He's lost all of his villagers gathering gold, or they've had to retreat, and now I can even hear camels coming out for FeAge. He is going all in on this little play here, and if he does take this TC out, as I said, it's going to make things so good for him. He's already got 2 TCs back at home. A third one is going up as well, and it's really great play from Chris. From FeAge. Chris probably not expecting this amount of aggression so early on, considering he thought he was walled. Suddenly FeAge out of nowhere with just all of these crossbows, all of these light cavalry, and a mangonel to take out his TC. One more hit and that one is gone. And we've even got camels coming out as well to deal with the knights from Chris, and Chris here looking to be in a bit of bother. I can't see how he's going to be able to defend so well against this. He's making a couple more knights now, but without gold he's going to struggle to make knights, and without food he's going to struggle to make knights. His farm's under a lot of pressure here, these ones especially, as they are quite far from the town centre. All that Chris really has to defend is this watchtower and town centre over here, and now FeAge again getting into his gold, and this could be a very short or a very quick GG from Chris. FeAge with such a huge score lead, mopping up very nicely, starting to take out these villagers quite easily as well. No upgrades on his light cavalry or camels for the time being, so he will want to be careful of the towers and such from Chris, as they'll do a lot of damage. But still, with more camels coming in, more crossbowmen on the field, and Chris is struggling to even kill crossbowmen from FeAge here. FeAge's economy, well, it's very low on resources. He is spending it very well, but he's almost got enough for a castle. And if he does actually plonk this castle down in the back of Chris's base, that could just be it. I mean, a castle here would just deny Chris so much stone. It would deny him this gold, and Chris can't gather from this stone gold as it is. So it's really not looking so great for Chris. And there's the castle from FeAge. If he can protect this and get it up, then Chris is he may as well just be GG straight away. It's going to be able to be in range of that town centre. It's going to be in range of pretty much everything, and as long as FeAge doesn't lose this villager and he gets this castle up, it's going to be some time before it does go up. As you can see, 1% every 2 or 3 seconds. It's a long time, but if FeAge can defend this villager and get this castle up, then we could see some really good, well, fast GG from Chris, no doubt. But at the moment, Chris throwing up a watchtower in defense. He had just enough stone left over, and if this watchtower goes up, then the castle will be no more. There is no way in hell that FeAge will get the castle, and he's had to retreat, and maybe he'll put it up here. Chris now with a second watchtower, going to be able to defend this TCL a little bit more, but this is a very messy game, and these are the kind of games that I quite enjoy, to be honest with you. Just going to see if FeAge is going to send any more villagers forwards. He really does need to replenish this lumber camp. It's been miles for a long while. But let's see if he does go for the castle anywhere else soon. Chris on a very on edge sort of defense right here, and it's looking pretty bad for him, I've got to say. Though if he can actually start to draw things level with this mangonel, he could kill a lot of crossbows, and that could really help to draw things level indeed. If he does manage to do that, then FeAge might find himself on the back foot a little bit, but the economic harassment that he's done is excellent. He's up to 3 TCs now, and that is just really good for him, to be honest with you. Really good. Starts to gain a huge advantage because of that. Crossbowman's at the back. He needs to be very careful of this mangonel, of course, and if he does lose his villager, which it looks like he may just do if he's not careful here, if he loses this villager, it could be GG to this forwards very quickly indeed, which would certainly not be good for him at all. Still making camels back here as well, still making light cavalry as well. He will need to take out this mangonel, of course, and if he doesn't take out the mangonel, then his crossbows are in a lot of trouble indeed. Crossbowmen, though, can deal with the camels and knights pretty easily. He still doesn't have bodkin arrow just yet. Looks like that mangonel is still going to stay up. It's so close, and it does actually go down. Wow, FeAge managing to just get that down in time, and Chris now looking very behind at this stage, starting to expand towards the front, and that's interesting because FeAge could easily break this wall and put a castle on the front, and of course Chris now a lot of stuff over here away from protection. There is no protection for these villagers whatsoever, as the town centre is so far over to the left. FeAge still putting the pressure on this side though, and if he can actually hold on, then to come forwards. There's the castle from him. I didn't expect to see it there, but a nice position on that one. He can even afford another one in just a second, and I thought for a second he'd do it on the front, but of course now forcing Chris away from gold once again, starting to pressure this area of the map, breaking down the palisades with his villagers, and he can afford another castle very shortly. Chris is looking to be all over the place. His economy is so disrupted, and he's actually moving out with these villagers down here. I don't know where he's planning on going with them, but he is running for his life. Where is he going? Is he looking to find some more gold somewhere? I'm certainly not sure, but FeAge starting to pile on the pressure in this area. He's still kind of going on the left, but it looks like Chris is starting to push him back a little bit now. These crossbowmen are going to be cleared up, I think, but FeAge with 3 towers back here, still doing quite a lot of damage to the knights as they come in, and his crossbows, of course, being safe inside of the towers, going to be doing a lot of damage to those knights. There's no point letting your crossbowmen die. You may as well put them into the towers and keep them safe and let the towers do the damage. But FeAge in 2 locations, another castle up at the front here, and that means we're going to see a lot of Mangadai out of Fee, and we're going to see another castle here as well to pressure this area and prevent Chris from gathering gold for even longer. His villagers going down here now, putting a town centre in a very weird spot, very out in the open indeed. I don't know what he's expecting from this little TC spot, a tiny wood patch here. Maybe he's going to make some more farms, but Chris so low on resources, so low on population compared to FeAge, who is on 108 population right now. Quite a lot of resources as well, and Mangadai coming out left, right and centre. He is going to be able to keep the pressure on to Chris, and I've got to say Chris is looking to be falling very, very far behind now. 2 castles from FeAge, lots of Mangadai coming out, and these castles are going to be doing a lot of damage as well. Mangadai still without +2 though. He's not got Bodkin Arrow just yet, but he is now going to go up to the Imperial Age, and I think once he gets Imperial, that's it for Chris, because Trebuchet is going to be coming out, and these town centres will go down, and there really is very little Chris can do against an Imperial Mangadai when he's in the Castle Age, and he has no resources to make any army. He's been cleaned up over on this side again, FeAge still with crossbowmen over this side, and really, it just seems like everything is on fire for Chris, everything is disrupted, it's not how he wants it to be, and that is going to be very costly to him. Lots of farms going up over on this side, and Chris just so low on resource, it's absolutely horrible for him. Running in with Mangadai now, getting caught out a little bit by this Mangonel, but I managed to take that out just. Still making Mangadai, I think. Let's have a quick look. Yep, still Mangadai coming out. Plenty of Mangadai coming out, actually. And he's even taking Chris's gold back here. Moving in with his crossbows. A lot of dead villagers once again. He's still not got +2. I'm wondering where that is. But he might get it soon. But still killing off a lot of villagers. And a little raid coming in from Chris. Quickly cleaned up by FeAge. And now FeAge Imperial. And Chris says GG straight away. He knows it's over. He is not going to be able to deal with trebuchets from FeAge at this stage, and FeAge takes his first game from Chris. Interesting that he chose Yucatan. Even more interesting that he managed to win it after we saw Chris's performance against the Viper, and really very, very well played from FeAge. And I think that sneak villager back here, if that was dealt with a little bit sooner by Chris, if Chris stopped that villager, he only had to kill 1 villager. If he actually prevented that from happening, then FeAge might have found himself in a much worse off situation, as Chris did have those 3 TCs up already, while FeAge was still feudal age, and really Chris should have been able to win that game, but FeAge hanging in there, managing to keep his villager alive, build plenty of buildings back here, and just keep the pressure on, and continually disrupt Chris's economy whilst he was castle, and FeAge was still feudal, before finally getting up to castle, plonking these castles down, going Imperial, and at that stage Chris knew it was GG. So very well played by him. That was game 1. Game 2 coming up next.